Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. What an ending, right? The Jets and the Giants just wrapped up. Jets take the victory 31-27. Came literally right down to the end of the game. Denzel Mims, Chris Streveler, way to step up. Way to step up. I mean, let's just take a look at Streveler's numbers. 10 of 13, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He makes plays. He's decisive. He puts the ball in play. He puts the football where only his guys can get it. And, at times, that could lead to an overthrow or stuff like that. But for a guy that isn't, it's not like he's a first round pick and he has every chance in the world to make a roster and everything like that. It's not like he's taking first team reps and getting tons of action in training camp. He's making the most of his opportunity. Every single time this guy takes the field so far, all 3 times, he's made plays, he's put the ball in play, he's made good decisions, and he scores points for this Jets team, okay? So I'm totally impressed with Streveler. It kind of makes you think, too, like, if you give him reps, what could happen? 27 years old, he's a mobile guy, big guy, seems durable as well. He's, bounced around, played in the CFL. The chances of the Jets keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster, I think, are pretty slim. But look, if the Jets can manage to keep him on the practice squad, I think it would be a huge win for this team. Denzel Mims, on the other hand, way to show out. 7 catches, 102 receiving yards with a touchdown in the 4th quarter by Streveler. Denzel Mims looked really good today. Super strong, aggressive. He looked hard to bring down. At one point he got hit really hard over the middle of the field. The dude barely even, it looked like the guy just bounced right off him. He didn't, like a normal wide receiver would go flying, but Denzel just stood there strong. Is it the last time he's going to be wearing green and white? Maybe. There's supposedly a lot of interest. Baltimore, Dallas. I've seen Cleveland pop up. Obviously the Carolina Panthers. But Denzel Mims, I wish him nothing but the best. I do think it would probably benefit Mims to leave, to be traded, if the Jets don't really envision him as a starter or as that go-to backup. Then might as well let him go and try to succeed, maybe have an opportunity elsewhere. I fully believe that the Chicago Bears, teams like the Atlanta Falcons, who else? Maybe even the Baltimore Ravens, possibly Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of Tennessee Titans. There's a lot of teams out there where I feel like Mims could be in the top 4 of their wide receiver rooms, right? So if it was up to me, I think maybe it's best if the Jets and Mims go their separate ways. But again, I'm wishing him nothing but the best. I hope he succeeds, whether it's with the Jets or without. So as far as the starters go, I felt like there was a lot of good on both sides of the football, but there was also some bad. It wasn't a perfect day, right? Not in the least. So it was a good mix of some positive and negative here. Let's start with the defense. I felt like it was smothering, right? Early on, they had that sack on Tyrod Taylor where the sack could have went to anybody, right? Everybody was in the backfield there. I felt like Tyrod, an elusive quarterback, was seeing a lot of pressure, both through the interior and off the edge. Michael Carter had that interception where Taylor initially makes that nice play, steps up, and then tries to float it over. Michael Carter's just sitting there in zone coverage, makes an awesome play, just interception right to him. I felt like guys were excited to be out there. They looked fast. That's another thing that I felt like really stood out. It just looked like everybody was just at 105%, 110%. That's something that, when we look at the Jets even this preseason, right, against the Eagles and the Falcons, but more specifically last year in the regular season, I felt like the team just looked sluggish opening up, right? Just to start off the game, the defense would just get cooked. They were a step behind. Guys were running wide open. Quarterbacks had all day to throw. They were getting pushed. Or the defensive line was getting trampled early on at the line of scrimmage, just losing the point of attack. But not today. Right now, again, of course, we do have to mention it was the Jets' first team going up against a ton of Giants backups, so we do have to take it with a grain of salt. And then we had other guys stepping up throughout the game, like Quan Alexander had the big hit. Michael Clemens, he looked, the announcer actually said it best when he said heat-seeking missile. He looks like an NFL player, right? Physically, his speed, his ability to close. We do point to what he did at Texas A&M. Super impressive stuff. But seeing him wearing green, seeing him against, an NFL competition here in preseason, he looks like he's going to be a true NFL player. Some guys you want to see like a little bit more of, but for the most part, I got to be honest, I was pleased with the first team defense. So to shift gears to talk about the offense, I felt like it was a mixed bag, and funny enough, I actually got a couple messages from some Jets fans. Some were really happy, right? Some were pleased with what the first team looked like. Some were, right? Some were irritated. We take a look at the drives. Joe Flacco actually played a lot longer than I initially thought. I thought he was maybe going to be out there for 2 drives, but he was out there for a total of 4. I mean, let's take a look at him. The first one, 10 play, 51 yards, ended in a fumble, a Michael Carter fumble. It is what it is. Next one, 4 plays, 24 yards, punt. 5 plays, 17 yards, field goal. Last one, 3 plays, 7 yards with a pick 6. Obviously horrible. That was just you could just tell like the rust was there. Credit the New York Giants, but God, that was just egregious right there. It's kind of similar to the Zach Wilson one where and even the Tyrod Taylor pick, it just went right to the defender. But I think again we have to. There's so many moving parts. We have to take a look at the roster. We have to take a look at the offensive line continuity. The offensive line as a whole haven't really played together, right? This isn't the starting 5 from last year. Joe Flacco's first preseason appearance. So I think overall, yes, the Jets moved the ball. Yes, Joe Flacco was spreading the football around, but he actually looked a little bit more mobile than I felt. When I picture Joe Flacco, I'm thinking about, a tall, strong, big arm quarterback that will stand in the pocket and not shy away from defenders. But he showed off some wheels today, which I thought was pretty cool. But again, overall, I'm looking at the offense. There were some bright spots. Spreading the football around, understanding that it was pretty basic, right? Vanilla calls are not going to be, Mike LaFleur isn't opening his bag of tricks, in preseason against the Giants defense here. So with everything being taken into consideration, although I really like what the Jets showed early on, just the ability to move the football, because let's face it, let's look at the last 2 games. Right, the Jets' first team offense looked god awful. It just wasn't moving at all. In both games, the Jets looked flat. So I'm happy that they were able to come out with some fire, with some juice, march down the field. Unfortunately, they weren't able to rack up a ton of points, and there were a couple miscues with the with the pick 6, with the fumble and everything like that. But, it wasn't like the Jets were being shut out. It's not like they went, they had, with the 4 drives, like 3 of them were 3 and outs, and they just couldn't get anything going at all. Like, it was solid to me. Some people were really impressed, some weren't, and I definitely understand it from both sides. But all in all, the Jets close out the preseason on a high note. I'm happy the Jets went out like that. We didn't see any catastrophic major injuries or anything like that. Unfortunately, we did see Tyrod Taylor go down. You never want to see something like that, especially to a veteran quarterback this late into the preseason. Absolutely brutal. But outside of that, nobody else had any sort of major problem, and the Jets have escaped training camp and preseason without any more injuries, okay, which is really important. We get the Baltimore Ravens here just under 2 weeks from now. I cannot wait. Okay, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and as always, go Jets.